Hi everyone, hi crazy kids. How we doing? Happy Tuesday. Hi Richard, how are you? Hi Chloe. How's everyone doing today? We all good? Ooh. What am I doing? It's a gorgeous day out there again today. Absolutely beautiful. I spent most of the day doing admin and tidying and cleaning and things. All very, very exciting. Did anyone else feel a bit weird yesterday when, those are Brits anyway, when Boris sort of announced that we were going to lockdown? Like, I've been sort of in lockdown for a week, just kind of self-imposed really, and partly due to having no money at all to do anything, but also just, you know, kind of for safety. But the minute it was kind of, you're not allowed to, it felt a bit weird, did you not think? Anyway. It's all good. I've remembered now I don't have to wear makeup and I can eat everything with garlic in all the time, so it's fantastic. So, you know, positives of lockdown fun. Mug today for mug fans is a little penguin mug that I got when I lived in the Falkland Islands, because there are penguins everywhere there. So we've got little penguins today. Who's on the tea? Who's on the wine? Who's on the gin? Hello Camilla, nice to see you. Someone says, big news for me today, I washed my hair. I know what that feels like. Like, woohoo! It's exciting. It's the highlight of your day, isn't it? Brilliant. Hi Tessa. Chloe's on the black tea, fantastic. Well, I'm still on my tea with milk, right here. You know, gotta keep it nice and classic, really, haven't we? All right, well, it's 3:01, so let's get going. I'm afraid you've only got me today. We don't have any exciting guests coming in today, so you're just going to have to put up with me waffling away. Yes, Michaela, gin is allowed. Absolutely fine. Not a problem at all to do that. So we're talking today about the classic red London bus, because we've done the tube. We've done the black cabs as well. So really the kind of classic, most iconic bit of kind of London transport really for people is, apart from the cab, is the red London bus. And I've had so many guests when they've come to London and I've said to the kids, I've said, you know, what do you want to do? And they're like, ride a bus. That's the thing that everyone wants to do. And it's so classic. You know, these big sort of red double-deckers. And so yay. So what we're going to do is kind of go right back to the start. And I'm going to tell you a little secret now. That is that the double-decker bus did not originate in London. It originated in France. Heaven forbid. But no, it originated in France. And there was a chap called George Shillibir who went over to Paris and saw it, thought it was a great idea, and brought it over. And I'm going to show you cheeky chappy George Shillibir. He's a looker, isn't he? Gorgeous chap. So this is the man who brought over the double-decker bus as a thing over to London. And it's kind of perfect because, you know, London is, for those of you who visited or who live here, you'll know it's lots of little streets, lots of winding roads, lots of small alleyways. And realistically, kind of, let's say, standard buses, single-decker buses and long ones just aren't right for London streets, because you need the length of the bus, you need to get around the corners, through all the little alleyways and all of that. So a double-decker is a fantastic idea because you can put double the amount of people in but the same length of bus, so it's perfect. Doesn't always work for a lot of other cities. You know, you kind of go out into the countryside and different cities around the UK, you just can't get the double-deckers through archways, you know, that sort of thing. But in London, it works absolutely perfectly. But way back in the day, and this is what George Shillibir brought in, was the double-decker, but it wasn't, obviously, because it was the 1820s, it wasn't powered by engines, by motors. It was powered by the original horsepower. Here we go. So this is the horsepower. 1 or 2 horses at the front. Sometimes you might even have 3 horses. So when you kind of think, you know, you talk about cars having horsepower, and we're now used to what that means in terms of an engine, it literally is the horses, the power from the horses that are carrying you around. And this is a one sort of single decker, and they're called an omnibus. And an omnibus is a Latin word basically meaning for everybody. So anyone could ride it, literally anyone. You just paid to get on, and that's a single decker. But I'm going to take you and show you what a double decker would have looked like originally, back in the day, kind of like this. You've got the horses at the front, you have your inside section, and then the bit at the top, and then this rather precarious staircase going around the side. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't really want to be on that when the horse is sort of pulling away, and I just can't imagine them getting thrown off the back. But if you look at a London bus now, and if you've seen the Routemasters with the, especially the more modern ones, the newer version they put in, they still have that sort of sweeping staircase at the back. It's inside now, but that is kind of where it goes, and it sort of gets enveloped into the actual bus. Now, of course, you can see if you're on something like this, inside is slightly better option. I don't know if you've ever heard this about England, but generally people say the weather isn't great. I mean, I don't understand why, but of course, if you are outside, you are then sort of, you know, open to the elements, and if it's raining or snowing or raining some more or raining lighter or raining harder or maybe a bit of rain, then you're going to get wet. So inside is much better. But the way that they would kind of get people to go on board, you could take up to about 22 people on one of these. You would offer a fare that was half the fare to go upstairs. So it was 1 shilling, which in today's money is approximately kind of 50, it's not 50p, 5p, which sounds like a very good deal, frankly. But it would be half that if you went upstairs. And it's this little image right here of people actually using, it's not the best image, and there's a little note at the top of this one that I found which says 1908 on this one, so you can kind of see all these people smushed on. But my favourite picture that I found is this one. No, it's not this one at all. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Where's the one I found? Oh, it hasn't downloaded again. I'm having problems with that. Just loads and loads of people crammed onto one, and I'll maybe put a little picture in the links that I'm going to do on the website to kind of show you what it's like. And if you take a look now, really annoyingly, I was trying to find a really good picture of a Routemaster bus, so a kind of an engine powered bus, but I couldn't find one of the back of the bus. And the reason is there's this platform here, so I had to go for a picture of a toy, which is ridiculous. But anyway, so when the horses go up until sort of 1914-ish, and then they start to switch over to, for a very short period of time, steam powered, which, I mean, it's mad to think about now. It was very, very quick because the motor engine came in and took over. And so that's where it went, and it went into these sort of buses that started out, these are called Routemasters, and for anyone who is a fan of London transport, the Routemaster is kind of the classic style of bus. You've got this lovely open platform at the back that you can see here on this toy, which meant that if you were running to get the bus or it was driving down the street, you could basically just jump on. The little chap standing at the back, who is totally not a statue, that is a real person, was the conductor, and they would be stamping your tickets. You've got the driver at the front in the cab, but essentially you could just kind of jump on wherever you wanted. Now the problem with this is people are quite stupid. And people will jump on when it's not safe to. They will also jump off when it's not safe to, and you'll get injuries and all kinds of things. So eventually they decided we're going to close it up, and they closed the door up and made all the buses the sort of modern thing that you get today of going on the front. However, I'm going to try this and see if this shows you my kitchen again today. It doesn't, yay. However, in recent years, they brought back a kind of modern version of the Routemaster, which was by, if any of you remember watching the London 2012 Olympics, the very start, during the opening ceremony, there was this amazing, the Olympic flame, and it was the cauldron, and it sort of was made out of all of these little, what are they, like conch shell kind of things, and they all came together to form this one cauldron. Well, it was done by a chap called Thomas Heatherwick, and he was then brought in to design the new bus. Now, stupidly, I don't have a photo of the new style of bus, but he basically used this model, not this particular model, but this idea of the kind of classic Routemaster, and just enclosed that back platform, so that the doors would only open when it was safe to, but you still could get on the back and go up the staircase that went along the back. Gary said the omnibus went to northern France in World War I to move troops to the front. That is completely true. Do you remember that, Gary? Were you there? I'm going to get in so much trouble for that. I'm going to show you a little video, actually. This is a new thing, which I'm going to try. It's probably going to go horribly wrong. This is a little video. Let me start it going, and then I will explain what it is. Now, this is not of the time of the Routemasters. This is a Victorian sort of reimagining, people all getting dressed up and sort of using these omnibuses as they were originally. So this is not actually of the time, but it is very, it was rather entertaining. This lady is going to go up the back. She's going to actually go up the stairs to the very top. So you can see quite how sort of open it is and rather unrestricted. But in these huge, they were sort of wearing the costumes of the time, so these huge kind of hoop skirts and things. This bit is my favourite bit. Watch as she tries to go in the bottom bit. She can't quite get her dress through. And this chap decides he's just going to give her a big old shove. Hashtag me too. Check that out. So this is what they would have looked like originally. The horses at the front, tootling through. And they look rather fabulous, I think, don't they? Wouldn't you love to see those in the streets nowadays? I think it's great. And then you can have, these are the when you come into the motor versions, a little bit, a bit further as well. With the hats, aren't the hats wonderful? Aren't they great? I know, it's hilarious, isn't it? It's fantastic. Right, so, yeah, definitely no social distancing on there at all, Mitchell. So we then kind of come to the modern thing of the Routemasters today, and we've probably got, I mean, so actually went back, one of the questions someone asked me the other day when I said I was going to do buses is why are they red? And it's a good question because back in the day they weren't necessarily red. You saw those ones there, I mean, black and white obviously, but you know, they had advertising all around them, so colour, you know, would have been hard to distinguish. But when it gets to sort of the 1920s-ish, there are about 200 different private omnibus companies in London, and one of them, the London General Omnibus Company, decided, it was the largest, and it decided it needed to set itself apart from the rest, so it painted its buses red, and that kind of stuck. There were all sorts of different companies running buses, and there were even ones, I think, hilarious, called pirate buses. And it wasn't kind of our eye-patchy kind of pirates, but what they would do is they would sort of go off route and take little kind of side routes to try and get there a bit faster. I mean, I don't quite see the point of a bus that gets there faster but doesn't go where everyone needs to get off. I have no idea, but anyway. So it was a little bit of a free-for-all. And in 1913, we had something start that Londoners know and, well, I don't want to say know and love because it's a bit of a love-hate relationship. The night bus. This is buses that ran all the way through the night. A bit of a big deal for us because, of course, the tube used to shut. Now, Fridays, Saturdays, it's open all night. But Londoners love it because it will get you home when you tumble out of a club and realise it's not 11 p.m. But they also hate it because it is a nightmare. And I have on a couple of occasions fallen asleep on a night bus and ended up in the middle of nowhere. And I think any true Londoner has done that as well. Now, if you do want to see the original kind of Routemaster buses, there's a couple of options. There is one route in London called Route 15, and it goes it's a route that travels kind of centrally in London from Trafalgar Square past St Paul's Cathedral all the way down to the Tower of London. They always used to have the traditional Routemasters on. They've now gone to just weekends in the summer. So if you do want to ride on one, then that is your best bet if you're in London. There's also a fantastic museum in Covent Garden called the London Transport Museum, and there you can go and clamber on all of the different types. So the classic Routemasters, the ones back in the day that had you know, the horses and everything. So it's a really, really cool place to go. But a lot of the places that use it now, or the majority of the buses that are used are for things like weddings, parties, corporate events, things like that. So if you're lucky enough to be invited to a London wedding or a big old kind of, when this all finishes, a big old lovely kind of company bash in London, you often get taken around in one of them, and they're really fun and they're really, really photogenic as well. If you really want one of your own, as you saw from the little model, there are souvenirs all over the place. Because now, if you see a red London bus, very much, you know that it is it's a London thing. And it's funny because you will find them around the world. People will buy them in to do kind of, chop the top off and do tourist sightseeing and all sorts of stuff. But this is, the classic one you'll know is here. And of course, you see them in loads of movies as well. They film with them all the time. I mean, there's so many films. If you ever have a film set in London in the Second World War, guaranteed at some point there is going to be the love of some soldier's life standing on the back of the bus as it moves away, sort of waving forlornly to him as he goes off to the front to get shot at or whatever. So they do pop up in a whole variety of different places. what else was I going to tell you about? I think that's probably about it, really. That was going to tell you about. Oh no, there's one more thing. One thing we always quite like to do in the UK is to see our royal family doing normal stuff. So to finish off, I thought I would show you a picture of Prince Charles on a bus. How good is that? I couldn't find one of the Queen on the a red double decker. She's been on buses, but this is for the Olympics. You can just about see the Olympic Games logo at the very back. Danny says, "Don't forget the Spice Bus." Yeah, absolutely. The Spice Girls who came into the Olympics, wasn't it? I think. No, that was the Cabs. When was the bus? Oh, it was Spice Girls the movie, wasn't it? Yeah. So they kind of. I mean, it's iconic, isn't it? Spice Girls. So yeah, they're sort of used for that kind of thing as well. Now, is there anything else I was going to show you? No, I think the other thing is gone. So yeah, that's kind of it really for the Red London buses today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tomorrow we are going to do our first Women's Wednesday, and I am going to be looking at a lady that I really love called Mary Seacole, who, well, I'll tell you about her tomorrow. We'll get around to that tomorrow. Couple of things before I go. I've added a couple of things to my lockdown fun tab. There's a few things going on at the minute, some lovely kind of theatre and stuff that's going on there. What else? I'm just at the finishing off the links page, so that will be up very shortly as well. What else? I can't think of anything else. I think that's probably about it, isn't it really? So I'm going to head away. Thanks so much for coming. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you tomorrow. Actually, let's see if there's any questions before I go. Where are we? Prince Charles on the number 1. Very nice. I like that joke. One's bus. Somebody says you hire the buses for period filming. Yeah. Which is a really good, one of the big sort of markets for the buses at the minute. That's so there we go. Oh yeah, someone's Danny said night buses since 1913, was that? Yes, since 1913. And the very first bus route ever, not night bus, but normal bus route, I forgot to mention, went between Paddington and Bank. So if you kind of think about the rest of London not really being served by anything like that, it's quite amazing, really. So there we go. I am going to love you and leave you. I will see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Mary Seacole. Have a good day. Bye.